between the individual versus society, the author usually sides with the individual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And a short one.
So overweight pride.
Very good. Author's attack overweening pride. You need to stand away from the marker. Yeah.
So if we came across like an essay or whatever that, or just a paragraph that hit on that one, could we also allude to Dorian Gray?
Well, what I want you to do with these is when you read that essay question and it says, for example, choose a character and analyze the standards or values of the fictional society in which the character exists. How is the character affected by and responds to these standards, and how the character's reactions develop meaning of the work. So, standards, values of a fictionalized society. Values of a fictionalized society. This one probably is going to work with that question, right? What works? What books did we read that fit here?
Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray. How is Dorian affected by the society standards in which he lives?
Corrected.
It's corrupted. And we know that that's probably going to go that way because, as a rule, authors generally devalue materialism.
Okay.
See how these work?
Yeah.
So these are just trying to get you a good so what. And then everything that you've probably remembered from How to Read Literature Like a Professor, that's how you're going to develop your argument.
Yeah.
That makes sense? So, let's see. Well, and let's just talk about where those books that we read, where they fit. Value mutability. I came up with Cuckoo's Nest.
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange, absolutely.
Shoot.
Alex from Clockwork.
Walter Dean Myers.
Bell Jar.
Shoot, what is that one called? About the war.
Fallen Angels.
Fallen Angels. Sorry.
Every book we read, essentially.
Yeah.
With mutability.
That's the whole
Dorian
whole
Gray.
character is to have dynamic character, really.
So everything we read would kind of fit here. What about devaluing materialism? We've got Dorian. Anything else?
Bell Jar.
Bell Jar, possibly, yes.
No, I guess you can make an argument for Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Yeah. The books that we read.
Fallen Angels.
Fallen Angels.
Sort of.
Good. Anything else?
Oh, different points of view. As I Lay Dying.
That's excellent, yes.
I'm having a horrible time remembering all these names.
I know, that's why I was like, I need to write something down here. Sun Also Rises.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Gosh, I do a good job picking books out.
Not that you're biased.
As I Lay Dying, Bell Jar, Sun Also Rises. Virginia Woolf. Bam.
What about the novel? Like, we read like Beowulf and stuff like that. Would that be? I mean, those aren't really
You
novels.
have to be really careful.
Yeah.
If it specifies a play or if it says a work of literature or a piece of literature, you can go to town with the.
But if it says novel,
not for a play, it has to be.
how is it going to phrase the question? Like,
Do what now?
like how is it going to phrase the question? Like, what different ways?
Well, see, number one says in some novels and plays, so then you have to use a novel or a play to address it.
In the book, like
But listen, choose a character and analyze the standards. That's the one I just read. It does not specify.
So,
So if there was something that you feel really strongly about, my kids a lot of times feel pretty good about Canterbury Tales because we spend so much time on indirect characterization.
yeah.
Then you could use that.
Okay.
You can talk about the general prologue and then your specific tale.
Yeah.
And that would work wonderfully. Let's see. Heavily Dying, Meldar, Unscattered, Clockwork, Virginia Woolf. Anyway, I'll add. Social historians, also social critics.
Dorian Gray.
Dorian,
Gray. Fallen Angels.
Beljar.
Beldar, Fallen Angels, As I Lay Dying.
Virginia Woolf.
You get it?
Well, the Clockwork Orange, that would be more like, wasn't that like set in the future kind
It's
of?
set in the future, but like many authors use future settings to cast light on modern
Yeah.
problems.
And suggest that if we continue
On this path that we're
trajectory,
already going, this is what will end up like flawed.
family, the most passionate source of conflict.
That's right.
Bam. But not just As I Lay Dying, right? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Fallen Angels.
Yeah.
We still have a lot
Still
of stuff.
Clockwork Orange.
Yep, absolutely. Devalue organized religion.
Orange.
Fallen
Fallen
Angels.
As like dying.
As I Lay Dying, Clockwork Orange, Sun Also Rises.
Fallen Angels.
Fallen Angels, good. Usually opinionated about Carpe Diem. The Sun Also Rises.
Beljar.
Beldar.
Fallen Angels.
Fallen Angels. And what else?
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange and Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian.
Okay. Usually disagree. Fallen Angels, Sun Also Rises. Beautiful. And the individual versus society. I am the individual versus society. That's what I feel like sometimes. The authors usually side with the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, just check them off, right?
All of them.
And then attack overweening pride.
Dorian Gray would be the most obvious,
Cuckoo's
but
Nest.
Cuckoo's Nest, Dorian Gray,
Beljar.
Beldar, we could go on. Yeah.
Woo!
So, and then let's see, what am I seeing right now? A lot of. I'm still in my class that I've got right now, seeing a lot of summary. Guys, stay away from summary. You have this list, right? You still have that list, guys?
Yeah.
If you don't, you can Google last 20 years of open essay, AP Lit and composition. And it's online. Okay? And test yourself. Just like memorize this list and just go through the screen and go, okay, here, what would I say? Give yourself 5 minutes to write a thesis. And maybe jot down,
Yeah.
I would talk about this and this and this.
Kind of like speed dating.
Yeah.
Okay. What about quotes? Like, would it be like beneficial to know some quotes from some of these works?
I think I mentioned, memorize one.
Yeah.
As I Lay Dying. Do you know one from As I Lay Dying?
Oh gosh.
Anybody? If you memorize one, it should be one like with Clockwork. What quote do you know?
And Eddie on and on. Like some one of those Malanky wind-up toys or whatever.
That's a perfect quote to know because if you're going to use Clockwork, odds are it's going to have something to do with this
Mhm.
or this, right? The one that's easiest for me to remember from Clockwork is what's it going to be, eh? And that is going here.
As I Lay Dying, the one I remember most is Addie's like she chose.
She chose ants.
She chose him.
Oh, look. Now see, I'm all emotional because Mason's missing. Well, not missing. You know, I know where he is. Missing from here. Yeah, she chose. It's so sad.
Mhm.
The one that I remember from As I Lay Dying is we ain't not done chaffing yet. What kind of future is that? That was in Addie's chapter, but Ann's had said it to her.
Yeah.
We ain't nigh done chaffing yet.
Wow.
I was just gonna shit myself, I think. The Beldar, that last thing.
Oh God.
Or when she says it could have been anybody, when
When-
Doreen is helping get her well and nursing her and being like a mother. It could have been the nurse, it could have been Betsy, it could have been Doreen, it could have been anybody.
The one about the doctor telling her she was 1 in a million when she that
When
thing
she
at the
was
hospital.
hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
But that last, well, guys, you know, the last quote usually to be really important.
Like-
Isn't it pretty to think so?
Oh.
I love that one. I was just about to say
When I read
that.
that, I was just like,
Isn't
I
it
read
pretty?
that like 5 times.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
It's so powerful.
So, I mean, usually, a lot of times it's that last. Because the author, that's what the author's leaving you with.
That's what they want you to
Wasn't that
remember.
Sun Also Rises though?
That was Sun Also Rises. It's the last quote in the book. And then if I look at the Beldar and the last quote in the book, it's when you guys read the Beldar and you're like, wait a minute, is she better?
I don't understand.
Because she says, the eyes and faces all turn themselves toward me, and guiding myself by them, as by a magical thread, I stepped in. No, it's the retreaded.
It's
They're
still
all
hung
my
over her
thoughts,
head.
The ritual for being born twice. Patched, retreaded, and approved for the road. That's what I would remember.
I remember the one about it's just like it's still hanging over her head, waiting.
Oh yeah, that would be a really good one from Beldar too. What else?
The one.
We did that, we did that, we did that. We did Clockwork. Virginia Woolf.
What a dump.
Yes, that's one of my favorite lines. That and the title.
Yeah.
Or
Who's
that and
the
the title and I
Virginia?
am George. I am at the very end. I need to read a happy book. I do right now, gee.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It'll get you laughing every time.
Do what with what?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, I need to.
Every
I've been
single time.
recording. I just discovered The Big Bang Theory, like.
Love
Oh my
And I'm
god.
recording it, and like that's all we watched for the last 2 weeks. I'm like, have we seen this one? Have we? And I'm to the point now. I'm like, could we watch it again? Could we watch it again? Yikes. But it was so funny because Mason held hands with Lily, and I was like, how did you figure out how to do that? And he was like, he said, I looked it up on YouTube. And then we were watching Big Bang Theory the other day, and Penny was like, oh, Leonard, you are a genius. And he was like, not really, I just Googled it. I was like, okay, there's my child.
Oh my god, when he takes that chick to see the Mars rover. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you go out with me, Howard is such a creeper.
It might be a bit of a creep.
It's just,
It's fantastic though. Makes me laugh.
let's see, what else did we read? We read a lot. Dorian, the only way to rid yourself of temptation is to yield to it.
Anything Lord Henry says is
Yeah,
really
pretty much.
He's just a whole paradox in
I
himself.
love reading Lord
Oh
Henry.
god.
Are you done?
In fact, I think I've highlighted